Good morning, god damn it, Piss and Vinegar, day 98. It's back in Rear Delts day, one of the better days. So, today's topic is based off just kind of a revelation I had through this workout. So, today I started recently, but today especially really noticed the benefit of using earbuds or wireless earbuds in my ear holes instead of using my stereo system. I got a fucking Bluetooth speaker, and it's decent quality, but it's just, I don't know, it doesn't amp me up as much. And you think that's fucking weird. Like, some of you guys probably listening who go to the commercial gyms and think like, what is this fucking retard talking about? I have to listen to earbuds and they suck. Well, I don't know, man. I think you actually get more out of earbuds than you do out of a stereo system. Stereo system is just kind of like a luxury that you get at a home gym, but it's not necessarily a really any superior. For me, it seems inferior. Because today when I was working out, having the music blasting into my eardrums, giving me having my phone give me notifications saying it's too loud, you're gonna fucking go deaf. And then after my workouts, I have tinnitus and shit. Having the music so loud and so blaringly loud in my head and shoving the fucking earbuds into my skull as far as I can so that the bass is vibrating my skull and it's just it's fucking right there, it's in my ear. It got me amped up. I was seriously fucking amped today. Not normal for me. It's very hard for me to get amped over training. It's been a long, it's been a decent amount of years now. It's hard to really get amped up, and that's one of the benefits of one of the precursors for high intensity is that you're intense. And I train pretty intense, but today I really fucking went intense. I was getting reps that I probably wouldn't have gotten had I not been blasting Creed into my ear at fucking 50,000 decibels or whatever. It was just so loud and so intense. I don't know, but that's kind of my tidbit today or my topic today, or whatever you want to call it, is try, if you're already listening to music on a speaker, say you have a home gym, try putting the earbuds in and see what it does for you. I genuinely was enjoying the music more. I was way more intense. And I was hearing shit in the songs that I don't normally hear either. That's the funny thing. Is I'm a musician, so I very much analyze music that I listen to, especially guitar tracks as a guitarist. And there was little fucking pieces of these songs that I've been listening to for years. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's in there? I didn't even hear that normally because the speakers, unless you have crystal clear speakers. A lot of Bluetooth speakers are mono, so you don't get the stereo, and sometimes it cuts a certain panned out part of the song. If it's panned super to the left or right, you might not hear any of that shit. So I was hearing shit that I hadn't heard before. I was enjoying the music more, and I was way more intense. And on top of that, it was also that I was listening to Creed, and I love Creed. And Creed I haven't listened to until recently much at all, so it's fresh. It has this kind of fresh intensity it gives me, because I haven't heard these songs for so long. They're like it's like hitting heroin needle for the first time again. It's like if you do heroin every single day for 6 months, it's not going to do much for you anymore. But the first time back's always fucking sick. Not that I would know, I don't do heroin. But that's kind of what people say is the first high. I don't do any drugs actually, but the first high is always the best, and the first high back from rehab is the best. Same sort of thing goes for music. If you I listen to Pantera a lot. I have for years straight, and it's still certain songs that hit me. Because Pantera is my favorite metal band, but it's not, not every song is just having me going, whoa, I'm fucking really blasting, just intensity. And it might also partially because I haven't had earbuds in. I might, the same songs that are getting old for me might be rejuvenized now that I'm using these earbuds. But, yeah, I think you got to choose the right songs. You got to have a wider array of music tastes, and I can be pretty repetitive in my music taste. It's almost like I have fucking musical autism or something, where autistic people can listen to the same song on repeat for hours on end. I can't do that, but I can listen to the same albums or generally the same bands quite a lot. But it gets stale, so I need to open my music taste, but also the music blasting directly into my eardrums seems to have helped. So yeah, today I was fucking I was getting muscular pains that I don't normally get because I just wouldn't normally push myself this hard. I was bending over in pain because my lats were just hurting so fucking bad on certain sets. That doesn't normally happen. And the pump was better. I was getting better pumps. yeah, I don't know, man. The fucking earbuds into the skull, that might be a big intensity booster. You know, this could be adding massive percentages onto my training. If, you know, if I'm going that extra, you know, measure beyond failure, or, you know, whatever it is, or just pushing harder and more. I wasn't as focused, that's for sure. I wasn't focusing on the sets as much. I was focusing on the cool ass music that was pushing me to this next level of intensity, which is a fine trade-off for me. I don't care. Like, the main thing is you get intense. So the fact that I wasn't thinking about my contractions and stuff as much doesn't really matter. And if you have the correct exercise selection, exercises that naturally just allow you to contract the muscles whether you're conscious of it or not, then really you don't have to think about that too much. You just have to think about being intense and pushing to failure and beyond. Also, a new exercise today, I did it this last week, but you didn't get to see it, is this weird kind of banded around the arm, but hands on the bar pullover. And these felt pretty fucking good, man. Ordinarily, I don't get much of anything out of the stretch from this movement, but with this setup, leaning over more and having the fucking the karate belt around my upper arm or my tricep or whatever, it's allowed for a far better stretch than the lats. It was brutally painful stretching it out. And if any of you are aware, the stretch component to a muscle, the muscular stretch, is super important for hypertrophy, and potentially very important for causing hyperplasia. Now, hyperplasia is questionable whether or not a human can induce it, but every other animal that we observe can, so it would only stand to reason that humans also can. Hyperplasia is basically just multiplying muscle fibers instead of breaking them down and building them up, which is myofibrillar hypertrophy. So some of the studies show in rats and birds that they stretch the fuck out of these poor animals' muscle fascia and tissues through weighted stretch, and then they induce hyperplasia through this weighted stretch. Granted, these people, these studies, they're stretching these birds' fucking wings out for like 3 days straight. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But on the off chance that you can create hyperplasia, it would stand to reason the best way of doing it would be through the weighted stretch. So why not do the weighted stretch in order to potentially get hyperplasia? If you don't, then it doesn't matter. It's still good. The weighted stretch definitely stretches out the fascia. That's for one. That's a fact, is stretching out the fascia will increase muscular size, potentially through... Well, not potentially. It's a fact that stretching out your fascia will increase muscular size because your muscles can expand throughout the fascia easier if it's not so tight, which is part of why stretching is very important too. But whether or not it induces hyperplasia, it definitely will increase other aspects of your muscle building processes. But yeah, and then I do them on this one too. This is for the rhomboids. And sometimes the weighted stretch isn't so much just for the potential hyperplasia or whatever. It could just be that the weighted stretch is just in order to really stretch out a muscle through a range of motion that otherwise won't be hit. So like on this movement here, at the very bottom where I'm stretching, it stretches out the rhomboid. At the very top, it contracts the rhomboids. However, in between there, you're more so training lats. So it's kind of to target muscles a little bit differently also, or potentially target a muscle that you want. If you don't do the stretch, you don't stretch all the way through at the bottom of this, as you can see me doing here, you won't be able to stretch out that rhomboid. So I'm kind of going all over the place today, actually, with the topic, but yeah, music. I think I need to open up my musical tastes. I think a lot of people do, but especially myself. I'm very dogmatic, very snobby in my musical tastes all the time. Sometimes it's a matter of forcing yourself to like something before you can really enjoy it. Like, there's certain bands where at first I didn't really dig them that much, but through enough time, I was able to get to the point where I'm like, oh, well, actually, this band's excellent. And, you know, one of which is Pink Floyd, for example. I wasn't really into Pink Floyd in the beginning, and now Pink Floyd is one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time. So sometimes you just got to push through, and if you hear a song you might not like it that much, you have to try a bunch of different songs. Maybe you'll find one that you like, and then you'll be like, oh, well, I like this one. and then you kind of listen to that one a lot, but then sometimes your Spotify playlist or whatever will be like, oh, but here's another one from the same guy that previously you didn't care too much about, but now that you've kind of taken on the taste of this one song you like, now all of a sudden you like this one too. So like Pink Floyd, for me it was like, you know, everyone likes Comfortably Numb and everyone likes Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. These are two unbelievably fucking well created songs, and they go well with a wide array of palettes. Like a lot of people like those two songs. They're easy on the ears, but like other songs not so much. I mean, maybe more of their esoteric songs or more of their kind of more out there songs on like Dark Side of the Moon or whatever. I mean, some of you guys don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about because you're too young or whatever. But the point is, there were some songs from said bands, such as Pink Floyd's, where I would be like, oh, that's a cool one, but the rest of it's pretty mid to me. And then all of a sudden, you start listening to those other ones, you're like, oh, actually, no, I don't mind this. And then by the end of it, you're kind of like, fuck, let me listen to their whole discography. Like, every single one of their songs, I fucking love it. So, and that's kind of how I've been with the most bands, actually. So, yeah, as far as opening up my musical tastes, maybe I just need to force myself to go through different bands, find a song or two that I like, and that way the rest of them can kind of fall onto me. And there are also bands where they're just so obviously so up your alley and so good that you'll just immediately love them. Like Jimi Hendrix was one of those things where I heard Jimi Hendrix and I was immediately hooked as a child. I was just like, that's the best guitarist ever, which he is, and that's part of why it was so easy to listen to. And then, like, you know, Creed, I randomly just heard Creed one day, and, like, as cheesy as they are, fuck, I love Creed. They're just so fucking good. But then other bands, not so much, like Tool, Pantera, Pink Floyd, bunch of other bands. It's a cumulative taste. So, yeah, this is a sort of I don't know. See you guys tomorrow for Piss and Vinegar tomorrow.